Welcome to Monday Club! I'm Peter.
I'm Gus.
What's Monday Club?
Monday Club is the only show out there where you get a second chance at your weekend.
Screw Saturdays, party on a Monday. Monday is the new Saturday.
What is up, all you amazing people out there in podcast land? Welcome to Monday Club. I'm Gus Davis. Along with me, as always, is my esteemed cohort, Mr. Peter Bois. Guys, we have an amazing show for you today. We are going to be talking about the Flexorcist Exorcists. We've got Monday Club fan meetups. Pete sends ladies running away from stage. Gus and James run into some ladies on the road. Halloween just ended, and we're going to follow up our Halloween antics. We've got our dirty little football quiz, stories from the road, this week's teachable moments, and so much more. Stick around, and welcome to the club.
It's Monday Club time!
Cheers!
What's
up, man?
It's Monday. It's the favorite day of the week.
It is Monday, and it is our favorite day of the week. Dude, it is so good to see you well and energized and excited. I'm happy to see you, man.
Thanks, man. You too. I am sick-free for about a week, and I thought I was getting sick 2 days ago, but it was just exhaustion from traveling so much.
Oh, my God. I'm in the same boat, man. Last night, in the last 18 to 24 hours, I was in Baltimore, Delaware, Chicago, Minnesota, Baltimore, Virginia, and Tennessee.
You win.
So this is one of my mobile recordings because I'm sitting at a desk at a La Quinta Inn. Dude, also, I got to say that I apologize to you last week for making fun of you for being quiet in the hotel room. I feel so weird talking out loud in this hotel. Like, I feel so weird. I feel judged.
Very self-conscious, right?
Yeah, I am, man. I feel like the hotel is judging me.
Like, all your neighbors are listening to the walls and the door and being like, what is this guy doing? He's talking to somebody and then there's no response? What is going on?
Dude, I don't know, man. It's even weirder than that. I feel guilty. I, came in and I have my whole podcast studio in a tough case, a plastic briefcase thing, and I felt all weird, spy style, walking in and being like, what is your internet bandwidth here? Okay.
You really asked that?
Yeah, I was trying to see if we could do it.
Did you put a little handcuff around your spy case? That'd be more badass.
Actually, I kind of did because it was easier for me to carry it. I have little dog tags that I travel, dog collars. So I travel with dog collars, and I dog collared it to my arm so that I could carry all the rest of my stuff. And I just realized how creepy I looked. I look like a creeper some pants.
That'd be awesome. You put a little $100 bill sticking out of the briefcase as you're walking through the lobby.
That's right.
Oh, man. Well, cheers to scaring people with flexibility this week. Guess what? This is from Reddit, so guess who found it?
Oh, that would be me. Yeah. The reason why I sent this to you was, one, it is funny, but two, I wanted to really ask you on air what do you think your response would be? Because here's the situation, Monday Club. It's this lady who is obviously super flexible. She looks like a gymnast. She does a full-on back bend and then crab walks at ridiculously high speeds down an aisle of a Walmart, and you just see by the time she reaches these two people that are at the end of the aisle, this one lady just turns and looks and sees what's happening, and before she even registers what's happening, she has jumped out of her skin and is running down the hall.
And she throws the product she's looking at. She has a product in her hand, I don't know, and just tosses it.
Yeah, it is a legit that saying of, oh, I jumped out of my skin, it is a legit fear response of just everything goes, we gotta run. It is full-on flight syndrome. And I wanted to ask, man, so same scenario. You're sitting there, you're shopping, you happen to turn and look, and you just see the Exorcist chick just crab walking towards you. What do you do?
Well, I think I would be startled definitely. I don't think I would be once I realized what it was. I would be startled because there was something moving really quickly towards me. So if I saw it out of the corner of my eye, I probably would jump. But then I would kind of be weirded out as to why she's walking down the aisle backwards on her hands, crabbing. What would you do?
Man, I would like to say that I would just get startled and then laugh. I would also like to think that when I'm shopping, I'm so focused, I'm like hyper-focused on one thing that I would just see something move and be like, that's weird, there's a weird-looking dog in this store, and just let her kind of awkwardly bump into me before I realized what was happening. But what I actually think would happen is I would turn and my first response would be to just kick her in the face. I mean, like, I really, unfortunately, think that would be my first response. I would just start kicking.
If she was wearing a spider costume, I probably would do that as well. Have you seen those videos of the dog that wears a spider costume that runs around the parking garages and outside and freaks people out?
Yes!
Those are amazing.
People are so stupid. It's funny because it's the same thing as when people dress up in like a velociraptor costume and they go running through parking garages and people freak out like the end times are here in Jurassic Park.
I would be way more scared of a giant spider than a velociraptor.
I don't know. Those velociraptor costumes are really good.
They are good, but in my head, I'm like, those have been extinct for millions of years. There's a chance that a mutation happened to a tarantula, and it's now 4 feet long.
You're just like, look, spiders are evil no matter what, so I don't care, big, small, little, it doesn't matter. There's another YouTube video that I saw where there's a lady and she's driving. It's a dash cam video, and you see a lady driving. The light, she's stopped at a red light. The light turns green. She starts going, and then she just gets out of her car and just like backs away from her car, and her car, still going with the door open, just starts careening out of control and like goes into oncoming traffic and finally bumps into a light pole and just stops. But she was like, nope, there's a spider. There's a spider.
She was rationalizing her car accident because it was a spider.
No, she's like, nope, I'm out. Bail.
That was worth my $500 or $1,000 deductible.
Oh my God!
Well,
all right,
cheers to this girl, this woman, for doing this amazing stunt. That's awesome.
Yeah. Good job, lady.
Cheers. On this wonderful morning, I am drinking 2 fingers of my Woodford Reserve with 1 ice cube, and it's delicious.
Nice,
Getting me all
man.
nice and warm inside.
Yeah, keep you nice and toasty. This morning, I actually planned ahead from last night. I got myself a Blue Moon Belgian White that I am sipping on. Monday Club, I'm just going to be honest. I don't know how far I'm going to get in this. I think as soon as this recording is over, I'm going to go right back to sleep. And so this is sort of medication.
You're running on like 2 hours of sleep for like 3 days, aren't you?
It's like, I think 4 days, man. Like, my travel schedule it's been one of those travel schedules where I'll sleep for 2 or 3 hours. I'll wake up. I'll go to an airport. I'll sleep for 30 minutes at the airport. I'll wake up. I'll get on a plane. I'll sleep for an hour and a half on a plane. I'll wake up. I'll get out. We drive to a hotel. I sleep for 3 hours. I wake up. I go to a show, sleep for 2 hours, wake up, go back to the airport. I mean, that's been my repeat for 3 or 4 days. So yeah, man, it's about nap 30.
Yeah, I was there a couple weeks ago, but I actually caught up. But hey, if you guys are thinking, Pete, you're drinking, and maybe Gus, you guys are kind of boring on the drinking front here. Look, this is our super busy season, and we haven't had time to prepare. In December, and maybe, starting in a week or 2, I'm going to start preparing some amazing cocktails and sharing those recipes with you. So stay tuned, because I'm going to Monday Club bartend for all you folks out there. So, and you can follow along at home and make your own drinks.
Yeah, I want to reiterate what Pete just said. Pete and I had a little production meeting before this Monday Club recording started, and we were like, look, we want to give ourselves a small pat on the back just for waking up early and recording these episodes of Monday Club. But as soon as this busy season's over and we actually get some home time, we're going to reopen the the beer club and the cocktail club of Monday Club. So thanks for sticking with us as we soldier through these.
Yeah, we're gonna have some great drink recommendations for you coming up soon. So yeah, and thank you guys so much for listening. We love that you are part of the club. Make sure you check us out on iTunes. Give us a little rating up there, a little love with a little review. That always helps tell other people that, hey, this is a cool club. I should join. I should be part of this. So also tell a friend or two about us, about Monday Club, because we want to grow. And the bigger we grow, the more fun things we can do. So and the more it'll benefit you in the long run too. So yeah, thanks for the love out there. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, I want to give a special shout out to some special Monday Club listeners. Congrats to Eric Diddleman. You got bought a free drink from Miss Tristan Burkholder. So congrats, Eric. Also want to give a huge thank you and shout out to John O'Brien again for the love on the vlog. We certainly appreciate you, John. And
no, keep talking. It's all right.
I'm like applauding too. And
thanks,
yeah,
John.
Want to say to all of you out there who are enjoying Monday Club, thank you guys all so much for listening. Please tell a friend. We want to grow the club, like Pete said. So the more, the merrier, and the more people, the more free drinks we give out.
Boom. I did my last, so this has been the conference season for us. We've been everywhere promoting. I did my last Summoning Spirits showcase of the season a couple days ago, and my last show, Summoning Spirits, on Wednesday of the year until next year. And both went great. In my showcase, though, and this happens often now, I'm really digging into the show and getting it really creepy. There was a girl that ran out of the room during my showcase.
Oh, that's awesome.
And my friend Chuck, who was in the audience, came up to me afterwards, and he told me about it because she was sitting right next to her. And it was during the opening bit. I talk about this woman that haunts this house in Maine, and her 2 children died, and how their favorite toy was building blocks. And so I build a pyramid of blocks. This is the very first thing in my show. You can check it out too on my promo video for the show for Summoning Spirits if you want to. So I build this pyramid of building blocks, and then I step away from the table. And as I step away from the table, Chuck said, "This girl was like, if those blocks move, I'm out." and of course, those blocks tumbled to the table, making a loud noise, and she just was like, fuck it, I'm out. And she ran out of the room. But it was awesome because it really added to the showcase, too, because everyone enjoyed seeing that reaction. So that was cool.
Dude, that's awesome, man. Man, is it a little sad for you that it's any show that I have that is themed, that I work so hard to make that show awesome, and then that time of the year ends, and I'm always a little sad because I'm like, oh, but it's a good show. Oh, come on. That sucks. So whatever.
Yeah.
Is that how you feel about Summoning Spirits?
Yeah, I would love to continue doing it for more, I would love to be doing it a lot more the next couple months. But that's not going to happen. So I've already started booking October next year. I do have a couple of off-season bookings of it in the spring, so people still bring it in, but obviously not as much as Halloween season. So yeah, it's a little sad because I worked my ass off on it, and I think it's a badass show, and I think and so yeah, I'm already looking forward to doing it next. But also it gives me time to retool and kind of rethink things, go over the script, and think up more material too. So I guess you got the off time to help build it.
Yeah, are you still going to add that little video to the video teaser at the beginning?
Quite possibly. I need to get to the drawing board over the next couple months and figure out a plan of action.
All right, man, cool. Well, so like I said, I've been doing nothing but just intense traveling for the last 5 days, and over my next 2 days, I'm driving back from Delaware back to Austin, and so I'm just in the car by myself, and so I thought we would do a little bit of book club catching up on the Monday Club.
All right. It's time for the Monday Club Book Club.
All right, so listen, I've been listening to I think I'm no joke. There's a lot of great authors out there. I happen to just freaking love the way that Stephen King writes. I know a lot of people get frustrated because he'll talk about a leaf in a pond for 200 pages when what you want to hear is why there's a killer hiding in a closet, and it just, he delays it so much. But for me, it makes the world so much better and so much stronger. I've been listening to the Bill Hodges series of it's like a detective noir almost, and it starts with Mr. Mercedes, and I'm on book 2, which is Finders Keepers. And dude, it's so good that I was driving in the car on no sleep, and like twice, maybe 3 times, I like stopped what I was doing and just applauded in the car by myself. I was like, oh my God, that's freaking awesome. So
you took your hands off the steering wheel to
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And we're making fun of a woman getting out of her car for a spider.
Yeah. That's exactly what happened. Except the difference is that, I was going 75 miles an hour in traffic down 95. No, seriously, guys, it is a really, really good book. If you are interested in detective novels at all and like good writing and love America, that's probably the book you should check out.
All right, I'm going to have to do that. What, Finders Keepers.
Finders Keepers.
All right, I'm going to do that because I have a book I cannot recommend. So I think Audible gives you your money back, right, if you don't like a book. So I might return this book and get Finders Keepers. I'm listening to Children of Time. It's a sci-fi book, and it's about this. I'll just give you the first couple chapters of the idea.
All right.
We're in the future, humans in the future, and they go terraform other planets and other galaxies, and they figured out how to put yourself asleep so you can travel light years, and then you wake up and you're still the same age, right? And so this science team goes to this planet to go terraform this planet to make it habitable because we've destroyed our planet.
Oh my God, I'm so bored.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
No, it's actually the plot, the idea of the plot is really amazing, but the way it's executed is so boring. Like, there's no character investment. I don't feel like I care about any of the characters. I don't even really understand who the characters are. For example, I listened to Martian, the Andy Weir book.
Oh, right, yeah.
It's great. It was amazing. But imagine if the guy on Mars was, you weren't invested in him, you wouldn't care about what the hell he does to stay alive, right?
Well, and that's I think you nailed it, man. Characterization is so important. Like in that Martian book, he could have been anywhere. He could be at Wendy's taking orders, and I would have enjoyed that book just because of the way that it was written, and you got to know that character.
Plenty of potatoes for French fries.
Right. But if you don't care, I'm like that with horror movies. Like if you don't care about the characters that are getting chopped up in horror movies, it's like it's not even remotely scary. It's like, yeah, I mean, you guys are all going to die. No worries.
Yeah, this book, this idea could have been done so much better. So the worst part of the book so far is I've listened to about 6 hours of it, which is about a third, and so she went to terraform the planet, but she wasn't doing it for humans. She was going to put apes on this planet and then infect them with a virus that made them evolve quicker, so there would be more mutations in their DNA every generation, so they would become sentient and they'd become intelligent beings. So it was,
it's a terrible idea. That's how Planet of the Apes gets started.
I know, right? But the thing is the apes never make it. They blow up. But the virus makes it to this planet, this terraformed planet, and it infects spiders. So the spiders start becoming sentient over millions or whatever, thousands and thousands of years. And
that's
they
terrifying.
Grow big, and the ants become sentient as well.
Oh, yeah.
And big.
Nope. That's a planet of nope.
Yeah. So it sounds awesome, right? But I didn't give a shit about any of it. She spends or Adrian, I don't know, it could be a woman or a man, author, spends so much time just talking about the process of how the spiders communicate and, like, I don't need to know that. I just need to know that they're smarter now, and
right, they're big, smart spiders. We get it.
Anyways, so that's my biggest complaint. Interesting plot, interesting story. It got really good reviews on Amazon, on Audible, so I guess people like it, but I had no investment in the characters, so I didn't care what was happening and who lives and who dies and whatever. Yeah, that's
Dude,
that's my.
I think you bring up a really good thing to also have people chime in with on the Monday Club Book Club is books that you read that you just didn't like. Because when you either listen to or read an actual book, man, that's such an investment of time. And I remember it was like one of those growing milestones where I was reading a book and I was a couple hundred pages in and I just stopped reading and I was like, oh, I see. I don't care. I just don't care. So I put the book down and started something else. But that was a big deal. That was like, oh, I see. I'm growing up.
Yeah, you know what your tastes are. And I couldn't find a way to care about this book. So, yeah.
All right. Well, Monday Clubbers out there, share with us not only books that you like, but books that you can also not recommend for other Monday Clubbers. Let's save everybody some time and money and enjoy some good books like Finders Keepers. Read Mr. Mercedes first, and then Finders Keepers. They are so well interconnected. It's like, oh God, it's like Pulp Fiction. It's amazing.
All right, I'm returning this book, and I'm not going to finish it.
All right.
Segueing into TV of characters I do care about, Stranger Things 2. Are you a Stranger Things fan? Have you watched any of this?
Man, no. I have. I just haven't had time to watch TV, and everyone loves Stranger Things. I know it's one of those shows that I'm going to like. It's in my queue of things to watch. I haven't even finished Black Mirror yet. I just have had no time to watch TV.
Yeah, Black Mirror about that. All right, so if you have not watched Stranger Things, Season 1 or Season 2, obviously start with 1, but it is amazing. One of the best TV series stories ever. It's like Goonies on steroids, and it's awesome. It's like, Chunk took steroids and there's aliens.
All right, yeah, okay, cool. Well, yeah, I definitely will check it out. And like I said, it's been on my queue. I know everyone loves that show, and I know the kids that play it. What's really fun about that show, even from someone who hasn't watched it, is seeing that the actors of that show, all that cast of kids, have had the best year ever. Like, they're going to all these things together. They're like staying in character. They're just like, hey, we're on TV. This is fun.
I know, and they're so good. I'm so invested in each and every one of their characters that they're totally believable, and it's weird too because I look up to them, right? You look up to them but they're kids. So like if you saw them in everyday life, it'd be weird to be starstruck over a kid. Would that be weird? That'd be so weird. Like you can't drive, I can't buy you a drink, but you're the coolest shit ever.
Here's this. Do you like stickers? Yeah. I got you a sticker, buddy.
Just wait till beer and sex. You'll be great.
Well, so, dude, I was following some of your shenanigans on the old Twitter and Instagrams, and I saw a question that you posted that I wanted to ask you about on air. You said you were asking about Bitcoin.
Yes.
So tell me about that.
My buddy Dave is kind of obsessed with Bitcoin, so he's been talking to me about it, and I just signed up for a Bitcoin wallet and on the exchange so I can buy Bitcoins. For those of you who don't know what Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency. So it is mined by doing complex mathematical computations by computers. And so Bitcoins are created by computers doing math, and there's only a certain number of Bitcoins that will ever be mined and created. And once that happens, that's done. So it's an interesting thing about this currency that can be used to buy things. There are online places you can use Bitcoin for, is that unlike the Federal Reserve, no more Bitcoins will ever be made. So Bitcoins will only increase in value because there will never be more. For our currency, more money is printed, which creates inflation, which devalues our currency. But it's like the opposite type of currency. And it's interesting because a currency just needs people to believe in it to make it work, right? Like our dollars aren't anything. They're just paper. They're a promise, right? And that's what Bitcoin is. It's a digital promise rather than a paper promise.
Dude, here's the problem with Bitcoin is that I don't think enough people really understand how Bitcoin works, because I know for a fact that Bitcoin devalues. It's based on both belief and something I'm not smart enough about Bitcoin to know how it works. But for example, I know that for a while Bitcoin, like some people who had 5 Bitcoins could cash out for thousands and thousands of dollars on those Bitcoins, and then the next day stuff can go weird, and then those Bitcoins can be worth $17 or a fraction of a penny. I mean, it really, really changes. So it's a weird new kind of idea and paradigm. And it's not even new, but it's a much different idea as far as currency trade is than using paper money that's backed by the Federal Reserve. But it's also I think in a way it's sort of how money was originally intended to be, right? Like, hey, let's give this thing value, and once we say that it has value, then the market kind of dictates how that goes.
Yeah, but it does. The only reason why Bitcoin goes down in value is people's belief in it. So yeah, it has dropped in value. And probably will again. But once there's enough people believing in it, that those drops will be far and few between, and much less at all compared to other currencies, because it can't be manipulated or by any central bank. So it's a really interesting concept. I just got $20 worth of Bitcoin, which is like 0.00000000001 Bitcoins, because one Bitcoin is about $7,500 right now. And
dang.
Yeah. I remember hearing about Bitcoin years ago. If I had bought $1,000 of Bitcoin, I'd probably be a millionaire right now.
I mean, yes, that is true, and I know that actually happened for some people who invested in Bitcoin. I'll tell you, man, I would like to have a computer that was powerful enough to mine Bitcoin.
Ditto. That would be wonderful.
That would be super cool. But I think you're talking about spending a huge chunk of change to get a computer that's fast enough to do all of that stuff.
Or you could just buy it and hope the value goes up.
I mean, yeah, sure, you can be an investor. Yeah.
But
anyway, dude, so one of the things that Bitcoin is famous for is that because it's a cryptocurrency, it's sort of untraceable. It's what a lot of people use when they do like malware or ransomware, and they want you to send them money. A lot of times people want it in Bitcoin. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's the new cash. You can't track cash, right?
Right.
It's a new cash. It's a digital cash, which is great. I think it's great. I mean, it's not good for it's good for bad people, bad for us that don't want bad people to do things. But I do think I'm kind of a tinfoil hat guy, and I think all the big corporations and big government is watching over us and tracking our every moves. So, and it's kind of nice to like give the finger to the man and be like, "Ha, we got our own currency. We're going to start playing our own game over here. Screw you guys."
Well, I do think with the limited knowledge that I have of Bitcoin, I think if nothing else, it's a good start for a conversation of what happens when we actually genuinely go to a globalized society, or, you know, if we can not burn ourselves to a crisp on this planet and make it off planet, that there's got to be some kind of new concept as far as what currency is, what money is, and I think Bitcoin is the most popular of those cryptocurrencies, and it sort of started that idea, that conversation for people to sort of be ready for what comes next. It's kind of like when Apple TV or Amazon Video came out, and people were cutting cable, and some people were like, "Well, how do you watch TV if you're not able to get channels?" And that new kind of idea of, well, that's not what TV is to me. TV is like, there's a couple of shows that I like watching, and I can watch them anytime I want to, you know?
Yeah. And yeah, it'll be a truly international currency, which will be interesting. I think it's really interesting. I think this idea is just catching on more and more. I think there's a bank that's now offering futures, which is a kind of like a derivative options type investment on the currency. So now it's starting to be embraced by real banks, and Yeah, more and more. So I think it's only up from here for some. You know, or you could invest in one of the lesser known ones, like Litecoin is like $55. Like if you bought like $5,000 of Litecoin and it went up, to where Bitcoin is now in 10 years, that'd be good.
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad. That would not be bad. All right, man. Well, moving on. Let's talk about Halloween, man. So last time we did a recording, it was the day before Halloween. So how was your Halloween? Did you get to make it home?
Yeah, it was great. No, excuse me, no plane delays or anything. I made it home, and we got to go trick or treating with my son, and it was wonderful. And he was a little lion. He had this adorable lion costume on, and you'd ask him, what does a lion say? And he'd go, roar. And it was awesome. And he went around and he got it. There was a lot of spooky things around, and so he calls them spookies. So he'd point and go, spooky, spooky, spooky.
Oh, that is totes adorbs.
Yeah, and so I was just carrying around all the spooky stuff, and I'm trying to make light of it so he's not scared, and he's very observant. So I was just like, oh, that's so cool. Look at that skeleton. Look at that zombie. That's so cool. High-fiving people and stuff, just so he's not scared of this stuff. And
did he roar at anyone?
No, he gets kind of shy around people.
And
we went to Summer Street in our town, and that place is amazing. They do it up like I mentioned. They have crazy decorations, full size candy bars. So he was trick or treating for me, basically. So, we didn't go to a ton of houses. We went to a few, and he'd trick or treat and get his candy and put it in his bag. And then later on, I ate it all because candy's bad for a 2-year-old. So
yeah, way to fall on the sword for that.
Yeah, I was doing him a solid. Oh, one thing though, trick or treating. There was what is it called when you're trick or treating out of your trunk?
Trunk or treating.
Trunk or treating, yes.
Yeah.
There was a trunk or treat there, and this guy and his girlfriend, wife, partner, whatever, had a hatchback, and inside of the trunk was a full model creation of Endor from Star Wars. There was Ewoks, there was an AT-AT,
awesome.
There was Luke and Han and Leia and all the characters and tree forts. It was amazing. I'll post that picture on our Instagram and Facebook today when you hear this, and it was pretty amazing. They did a great job with it.
Oh, that's cool, man. Yeah, I like the concept of trunk or treat. I think it's kind of cool, especially if people decorate their cars and make it spooky and fun. There's something awesome about being able to go to people's houses and gives old people a chance to hang out in the neighborhood and give out good candies and stuff like that. I don't know. Bryce did some trunk or treating. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to be there on Halloween, which really sucked. I had a nooner the next day in North Carolina, and the only way I could make it is to leave on Halloween. So that sucked. But on Southwest, they gave out free drinks on the plane on Halloween. So that helped cope it a little bit better. And, man, I got a lot of cool pictures. Bryce went as a Harry Potter wizard, and I got him this badass light-up magic wand that, depending on how you flick it, it depends on how much light comes out of it. And so you can turn the light on by flicking it and turn it off by flicking it down and then change how bright it is. Anyway, that dude was in heaven.
Nice. That sounds awesome. Awesome.
And when I did get home, I totally raided his stash and got all the good candy for myself.
I'm doing this for your dentist.
Yeah,
I'm not paying for your cavities.
Your teeth still have a chance, man. Mine are already screwed.
So Halloween just happened. Yesterday was Sunday, and that means football. But guess what? The Patriots had the day off. It was their bye week.
Oh, so they neither won nor lost.
Correct. They just abstained from football for the day.
Well, that's good, man. That's good. So
there's some Patriots news. The Pats traded their backup quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo to the 49ers for a second-round draft pick for next year's draft. So this is kind of big because Jimmy, when Tom Brady was not able to play for 4 games due to some stupid rule or stupid commissioner, let me say. There was no rules broken, allegedly. Nothing was proven about that whole football deflating thing. Jimmy started 3 games, and he looked really good. He won all 3 games, and or 2 games. I can't remember. 2 games. Yeah. He started 2 games. He looked really good. And so it's so weird. Patriots take their backup quarterbacks. They train with Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. They get good. They get to play 1 or 2 games, and then all of a sudden the next year they're traded to another team. They're like quarterback training ground. But the problem is usually they don't do very well on the other teams. It must be Bill Belichick magic or something.
What about their kicker? Did they trade their kicker?
Oh, not yet.
Do you think they will?
I don't know. Maybe if they have a backup. No, I don't know. I don't think so. I think they're going to stick with him for the season. But yeah, he's hurting. He needs to get his shit together. But this is.
I always think the kicker is such a strange position on a football team. Like that's got to be so isolated because you don't. It's not like you even really have teammates. It's like you could sit in the audience, like you could sit in the stadium eating a hot dog, and then 5 times a game, maybe 10 times a game, like get out of your seat and walk on the field and take a snap and kick it, and then go right back to your seat. Like no one really likes you, and yet a kicker can win or lose the game easy for a football team.
Yeah, I think I've told this story before. Did I tell the story about how I did magic for the Patriots?
No.
I didn't?
No.
I never told this story on Monday Club?
No.
All right. I guess I'll tell it now. This was when I lived in the Boston area, and my buddy passed me this gig. He's like, I know you're a huge Patriots fan, so why don't you go do this gig? Plus, I think he was booked. So it was the beginning. I don't remember what year it was. It was Rob Gronkowski, their star tight end's rookie year. I remember that. And it was at Bob Kraft, the owner's house on the Cape. Beautiful house on the ocean. Amazing house, right? And so he's like, why don't you go do this? It's for the Patriots. I don't know who's going to be there. So it was ended up being their it was Labor Day weekend. There are no games that weekend, and it's right after preseason. So it was kind of like just a preseason party for players and family. And I went over and I was doing close-up magic for a few hours, and I got to do magic for Bob Kraft, Robert Kraft, the owners. Actually, funny thing, I went to go do magic to Bob Kraft. Correction, I never really did magic for Bob Kraft. I went up to him, and I started to kind of introduce myself into the group, and he's like, no, just go. He kind of shooed me away. He's like, that's for the kids. There's some kids over there. You can go do it. You can go do it for the kiddies. They like magic. Magic is for the kiddies. And so that pissed me off. I was like, oh, fuck you, Bob Kraft. Screw you. And so I go do this whole party, and then at the end of the party, I'm doing magic for like the entire team. All the players are around me, and they're like shouting and woo and going crazy and stuff. And then it was obviously they were having a good time. And then Bob Kraft walks over because he's gonna start something else for the party, and one of the players goes, "Hey, coach, why don't?" Or, hey, Mr. Kraft, why don't we have this guy for team meetings? And I was like, in my head, I was giving Kraft the middle finger. I was like, see, everyone loves me.
How small did you feel in a group of football players?
Oh, my God, they're huge. Yeah. Plus, they're like my heroes, like football heroes, you know? Like, They're awesome. They're amazing players. Like, these guys are amazing. So I did magic for Tom Brady and Wes Welker. I was sitting. I went up to Wes Welker. He was sitting with a person that I already did magic for, so that I was like, this is my in to do magic for Wes. So I'm doing magic. Wes Welker was their star wide receiver, right? And I was doing magic, and then all of a sudden, from my left, I hear, oh, what's this shit going on over here? And then I look up, and it's Tom Brady walking over, and he sits down on my right. So I am doing magic for one of the greatest wide receivers of all time, Wes Welker, and then the GOAT, greatest of all time quarterback ever, Tom Brady at the same time, and my mind was blowing. There were fireworks going on in my head, in my belly. I was like,
I wish
my
you guys
God.
could see how happy Pete is reliving this moment. I mean, the smile on his face has lit up. I've had to turn the brightness down on my laptop. He is so freaking happy just remembering this moment. Dude, that sounds so cool.
It took everything I had not to shake and just give these guys a big hug and be like, I love you guys. You guys are awesome.
Did you keep your shit together?
I
Did you
did.
keep it cool?
I did. I kept it cool and just I did my stuff, and then I said thank you very much, and I might have shaken their hands and then walked off. And then while I was standing next to the guy that booked me, waiting for my next group to go up to, Tom Brady walks by and says, "Hey man, those were great. That was awesome. That was great tricks," or something like that. So I was like, I didn't even. That was unsolicited praise from Tom Brady.
Oh man, that's a give yourself an applause thing for that one. That was great.
Oh, thanks. Oh, one more quick note about that. When I was doing Magic in the big group, I just this is before I even knew about Rob Gronkowski, and I just remember this guy who was really loving the Magic, and there was this huge guy, his shirt off, he was like freaking ripped, right, and huge guy with a mohawk, and
Okay.
I was doing Magic for him, and he just stood out to me, and I was like, I don't really pay attention to the trades much, so I didn't really even know who he was. And then the next week, I'm watching the game. Some huge guy catches a ball for a touchdown, takes off his helmet, and he's got a big mohawk. I'm like, I did Magic for him last week.
Oh man, I'm so happy for you, Pete. That makes me that story warms my heart, dude. All right. Well,
wait,
look.
now there's one more. Sorry, the reason why we were talking about kickers. So you said kickers aren't friends with anybody, and that's so true because I remember seeing Steven Gostkowski, the kicker, he was with his wife and kid on a blanket, and he was kicking a soccer ball all alone.
Dude, that's exactly how I picture kickers. I picture that they get invited to everything, but like everyone just gives them a wide berth. Like, I mean,
Yeah,
you're on the team, but you probably don't. You know, I don't know, man. I just picture them exactly like that on a team with their wife and kid kicking a soccer ball all by themselves, not even participating in anything, and then yet the game can be on the line and it's down to this one guy who can kick a ball really well.
Yeah, it's just very cliche that he was kicking a soccer ball around.
All right, well, here, guys, listen. We want to support Pete and his genuine love of the Patriots. I think hearing that story of your Magic show for the Patriots gives me a little bit of insight as to why you love them so much. But some of you we know aren't sports ball fans, so we are going to go ahead and do our dirty little football quiz for you. That's right. We realized that a lot of the same words and terminology that's used in football is the same words and terminology that is used in erotic fiction. So I'm going to read 3 quotes of erotic fiction to Pete. His job is to identify the word or phrase that is also a football term. Then he has to use that word as far as a football definition in the erotic sentence. If he can do that 2 out of 3 times, we will throw it out to you guys and have a free drink. I think this week let's do spiders. for your book that sucked, yeah.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
we were talking about spiders.
Yeah. So if you can do an erotic, if you on our Facebook page, if you can use spiders in an erotic sentence that also ends with "I want a free drink," and post that to our Facebook page, you'll be our winner for this week and get a free drink from Monday Club. All right, Pete, you ready to play?
Let's do it.
All right, buddy, here we go. Your first quote. I've been traveling so much, dude. I'm a little worried about this week. So I think I don't know how these are going to go. But here we go. All right. The words and the way he used them sent shivers spidering out from my center.
Center.
Center is correct.
Yeah. All right. Center is the name of the position of a player, the one who hikes the football to the quarterback at the beginning of a play.
That is correct, my friend. The center is the innermost lineman of the offensive line. This position is also the player who snaps the ball between the legs to start each play.
The words and the way he used them sent shivers spidering out from my innermost position. I dub that the greatest sentence definition of all time.
Oh my god! Oh my god, that was good. Well done, well done. All right. Oh wow, I just grayed out there. That was good. All right. All right. Number 2. A hand circled the nape of her neck firmly, pinning her there. She felt his body cover her, forcing her into the cold wood.
Wow, that's a little tough, I think.
Yep. Three,
wow.
2, 1.
Cover.
You got it in time, buddy.
Hey, that was at the beep. Cover is when a player is covering someone else, so they're defending against the offensive player. They're covering them.
Yeah. I think that's the gist of the idea. A covered player is a player that is being properly defended and thereby not an ideal target for the progression of the football down the field of play.
Oh, yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, not bad.
All right, a hand circled the nape of her neck, firmly pinning her there. She felt his body. A player who is sufficiently defended against is covered, so they aren't able to get a ball.
I'm going to say no. I'm going to take that one away from you, buddy. All right. That was difficult. That's a difficult
I'm sorry,
one to work
guys.
in. All right. You can redeem yourself right here. Here we go.
All right.
You greedy little whore, he grunted, spiking his fingers up and forcing out a moan.
Oh, my goodness. Spiking.
Oh, that is correct.
All right, to spike the football is like after you throw it to the ground really hard.
Not really.
What? A spike? A spike is when you well, I guess there might be 2 ways. A spike. Yeah, you throw the ball down, right?
For what reason?
In celebration?
Yeah, okay. You know what? I see
Okay,
what you're saying.
there's another one. So if you spike the football after it's hiked, you're downing it, right?
That is correct. There you go. All right, buddy, you're on it.
All right. What's the official
actual
definition?
Yeah, the definition is a spike is an incomplete pass whereby the quarterback intentionally throws the football at the ground immediately upon receiving the snap, thereby stopping the play and stopping the clock. So it's a way for the offensive team to stop the clock by giving up a down.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's
what
like
you were
taking
talking
a
about
knee.
is yeah, it is.
But
what you were
the reverse of taking the knee.
That's correct. But what you were talking about is spiking the foot, like in the end zone, doing an end zone celebration and spiking the football, which I got to say is also a spike in football. That's a correct term. So yeah, you got it. You got it.
Right.
Let's see if you
so
can
I
use
got
it in another
both
sentence.
terms.
Yeah, you did.
Okay. You greedy little whore. I just said whore. He grunted, throwing the football down to stop the clock, his fingers up and forcing out her moan.
You got it, man. You got it.
You're welcome,
right,
Monday Clubbers. Someone's getting a free drink.
Someone's getting a free drink from us. Remember to use the word that pays and work it into the sentence spiders and work it into the sentence as an erotic sentence into finish it out with I want a free drink. Do that on our Facebook page. Be the first one, and we will buy you a free drink. That was. I know that this week was tough, man. This week was tough, but good job, Pete.
Thanks, man. The sentences had me going.
It's always fun to look these up while on a plane sitting next to children.
Hey, it's time for Stories from the Road.
So you think I'd have way more interesting stories since I've been on the road so much, but I have another story about a stupid hotel and their stupid early check-in fees. I was at the Comfort Inn, Kansas City Airport, and I got to the hotel early, around 9:30 in the morning after my nonstop flight got in, and I had a reservation that night through Hotwire. Oh, you're probably going to shit on me for doing Hotwire. So I go to check in, and I do my normal thing where I try to butter up the front desk. Hey, guys, how you doing? How's the hotel business going? And smiling and being all nice and affable. And then I say, I know I'm early, but my air flight just got in. I didn't know if you guys had a room you could squeeze me in on. And she's like, no. And she just had an attitude right off the bat. She was just a nasty. Like, she just wanted to be right about everything. And
yeah, I hate those people.
Yeah, she just didn't want to give anything. She's the one that would complain about people cutting in line for something that doesn't matter.
Right.
Yeah,
right. Like, very argumentative, wants to start drama. Yeah.
Yeah, and she just was very adversarial just right off the bat. And she's like, no, we don't have anything. We do have a room that could be cleaned, but it'd be about 45 minutes. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. I'll just wait. And she's like, yeah, you'll have to pay an extra night. And I'm like, what? I'm like, no, I just want to get in early to my hotel, then I'm going to shower, and then I'm going to leave, and then come back at 1 in the morning and get 2 hours of sleep and go to the airport. And she's like, no, you have to pay an extra night if you check in before 3. I was like, what? What the hell? It wasn't even a $25 early check-in fee, a $50. It was a whole extra night before checking in, before check-in time.
Oh, wow. Did you ask to see where that rule came from? Be like, man, I stay in these hotels a lot, and I've never had that. Where does it say that?
Yeah, it was from the owners. I guess there's leeway in what Comfort Inns can do because they're all independently owned and operated, and this Comfort Inn was a douchebag.
So which Comfort Inn is it? Let's cost them money.
I rated them 1 star on Google. It is the Comfort Inn by Kansas City MCI Airport, Kansas City, Missouri.
Well, you have not only lost the business of the esteemed Peter Bois, you've also lost my business and the business of every Monday Club Army listener out there. So, yeah, take that, Comfort Inn. There's a dollar value to being a douchebag.
Yeah, and so I was so pissed off, and I knew I wasn't going to get anywhere with her because she was... I just hated her so much. I just hated her. I knew I was not going to get anywhere, so I just said, well, I'm just going to go stay somewhere else. And then I left. I called up La Quinta, and they were
Didn't have that problem at La Quinta, did you?
No, they were like, yeah, we can get you in. We got a room. I'm like, any early check-in fee? No, come on in. We'd love to have you. And I'm like, I feel so welcome here.
I'm in a La Quinta right now. So, nice. Yes, kudos on you, La Quinta.
So I drove a few miles away to La Quinta, and then I tried to call Hotwire, and of course they would not refund my money for Comfort Inn because it was a Hotwire hot deal. So instead of giving them an extra night of my money, I'd rather give La Quinta a nice, amazing, reputable hotel brand all my money.
Yeah, you heard it here, people. La Quinta is the best.
So yeah,
it's true.
So
dude, it's funny that you had one of those weird experiences. I had another airplane asshole on my travels this time, and it was in a way that I've never had before. Right? Like I've had leg shakers or talkers or just smelly people. Like I've had all of that, but this was a new one for me. I had a guy who intentionally put his overnight bag, like his little backpack thing, underneath his chair instead of underneath the chair in front of him, taking up all of my footroom on my airplane.
What? So he put it under his own seat that he's sitting in.
He put it under his own seat, making there be no room for my feet underneath the chair in front of me. And I know he did it on purpose because him and his friend leaned over, I can see through the crack. I can see them leaning over and laughing about it. So my immediate reaction is to just start kicking. So I kicked it and kept kicking it out so that I had foot room, and he would just push it back, and I would kick it forward, and he would laugh and push it back. And finally, it got to the spot where my feet, it wasn't touching my feet, but I knew it was still there, and it bothered me the entire trip. Fast forward about, I don't know, an hour after I got off that plane, I was still fuming. And then I started thinking about, well, what could I have done in that situation? And what I could have done in that situation is just done the opposite. I could have gone very like Tai Chi about it. And when he pushed it back, I could have just reached under and just taken it. Just pulled the bag completely out. And then just held on to it or put it up in the overhead compartment or gone through it. I could have done any of that stuff. So if you ever find yourself in that situation, don't fight it. Don't cause it to be like a battle of wills. Just take it. Just pull it out and see what happens.
You know, I would have taken it and been like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Is this yours, sir? That was under my. It was under my foot space."
Yeah, and again, hindsight being 2020, that's what I should have done. I was just blown away that they were intentionally taking up my foot space.
Well, I think stories from the road should be changed to rants from the road.
Well, I did have some fun stuff that happened on the road. I got to do a quick meetup with some old friends from my old balloon twisting business, and so that was cool. I met up with Tristan and Rose from the Trist and Shout team that travels around in the same college circles that we do. James and I met up with them and went to Blue Moon 2 for a second time. Dude, they have a cinnamon roll that rivals that cinnamon roll that made you cry.
Oh my God. Blue Moon 2
Yeah.
is the name of the place?
Yeah. It's in Baltimore. It is... Whew, oh my God, it's good. And it's one of those breakfast places that has a secret menu. And they have, on the secret menu, they have something called a Sweet Baby Jesus. Okay?
Yeah.
The Sweet Baby Jesus is, and remember, we're in Baltimore, Sweet Baby Jesus is hash browns, crab meat, eggs, hollandaise sauce, covered in Old Bay.
Oh my God. That sounds... Was it
It's
good?
amazing.
Yeah?
It's amazing. Oh, I could have eaten 5 pounds of this thing. I mean, it was so freaking good, and it was the taste of Baltimore, man. It was like, do you want to have Baltimore for breakfast? Well, there it is. What was funny about it was the server came out and dropped it off and was like, here's the Sweet Baby Jesus. And I was like, the Sweet Baby Jesus? Yes, the Sweet Baby Jesus. It's like, all right, cool. So I had myself a yummy Sweet Baby Jesus, and it happened to be Rose's birthday. So they brought a candle. The candle went out, and nobody had a lighter, so they just put an empty candle on the cinnamon roll, and we sang her happy birthday. But yeah, man, it was cool. And again, Tristan, Rose, thanks for the love on Monday Club, and happy birthday, Rose.
Happy birthday. Hey, I have great news for me.
All right, what?
I'm going to be in Baltimore on Wednesday.
You need to have yourself a Sweet Baby Jesus at the Blue Moon 2.
Yeah, with a cinnamon bun?
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be more food than you can eat, but try. Try real hard.
I'm not a huge crab meat fan, though. Is it still good?
Oh, dude, it's so good.
Yeah?
It's so good.
Okay.
Yeah, just try. Now, this is the place that has, they have, what is it? Is it Lucky Charm? No. Frosted. I think they have a Frosted Flake, or no, it's a Captain Crunch. It's a Captain Crunch French toast they have at this place too. So I mean, if you want to get yourself some sugar beatus, just go ahead and go to this place and order everything. But I'm telling you, man, that Sweet Baby Jesus was good.
All right, so I'm gonna go there on Wednesday and give my opinion next week.
All right,
I'm getting excited
cool.
about this trip to Baltimore now.
All right, man. Well, I think that brings us to
Teachable Moments. So lovely. I was in Hartford for 3 days, and my teachable moment is if you're staying in a place more than one day, get a suite with a kitchen because it changes everything. It feels like you're home. You can cook, but here's another tip on top of that tip. If you get a suite with a kitchen, make sure you have a roommate that is a good cook because and that likes to cook. Because I roomed with my buddy Dave, and he loves to cook, and he's a really good cook. And so he just had all these groceries he brought, and he was like cooking up breakfast and dinner, and it was great. I didn't have to cook a thing. I did some dishes, but It was great. So there's my teachable moment. Make friends with people that cook good food and get a suite when you're in a place more than one night.
Oh, man, that's a great teachable moment, and I want to follow that teachable moment up by saying if you are going on vacation and you're going to be on vacation for more than 3 days, having a suite that has a kitchen is a huge, huge, huge money saver for you. So instead of every single meal going out to eat and dropping 50 or 100 or 150 bucks, stock the kitchen and at least have breakfast, maybe lunch and snacks at the hotel or at the place that you're staying that has the kitchen. It'll save you a crap ton of money and make sure you sort of eat healthy on your trips.
Yeah.
So my teachable moment is this. I have been doing so many. I've taken, I think, 12 flights in the last 5 days. I mean, it's been a whole lot of airplane travel, and because of that, I've realized that I have a secret system that I'd never really recognized about how to be on time for things. So here's Gus Davis's secret system for time management. Okay, so I want you to picture this, Pete. You have a watch, and on your watch, it only marks out the quarters of time, okay? So it has the 12, the 15, the 30, and the 45. Those are the only little marks on your watch.
Gotcha.
You with me so far?
Yep.
Okay. Let's say it takes you
You
25
almost lost
minutes.
me. Sorry. It was an analog clock face, but you almost lost me.
It's an analog clock, not a digital clock. Or it's a digital clock that looks like an analog clock, because that's the world that we live in now. All right, so you are... you have that clock. Now, let's say it takes you 25 minutes to get ready on a normal morning, to get from being awake to getting out the door. You know it takes you about 25 minutes, okay? And let's say that you have to be leaving at 4:45 a.m. to catch your flight to Minnesota. You with me so far?
4:45 a.m. Minnesota, yes.
Yes, okay. Now, what a lot of people do is they say, well, it only takes me 25 minutes. I'm going to wake up at 4:20. It'll take me 25 minutes, and then I will walk out the door at 4:45. But don't do that, people. Do this. Always back it up to you only got 4 marks on your clock. Always back it up to the next mark back. So instead of getting up at 4:20, get up at 4:15, which will give you time so that when your hot water doesn't work and you've got to let it warm up, or something else happens, like your socks are mismatched, or you have holes in your socks and you have to change socks, or any monkey wrenches that get thrown in there, there's a little bit of padded time so that you still walk out of the room at 4:45 without either sacrificing time or being in a super rush. So there you go, people. That is how you're going to plan the rest of your life, and always be on time for stuff, is always just use those 4 points as when you should get up, instead of just trying to figure out, like, to the second when you need to get up.
That's good stuff there. Very good stuff. You know what I do?
Yeah.
How many alarms do you set in the morning?
I set 3 alarms every time I have to get up, and I usually separate them out by 2 minutes.
Me too!
So, yeah,
Oh my God, we've never talked about this before.
No, but that's how you have to do it. Because otherwise, if you hit snooze instead of stop, it'll go for like 8 minutes, which is too long.
Yep.
So, yeah.
That's funny. Wow. Oh, we're now connected on another plane. That's great.
I mean, that's some serious travel. Like, that's tried and true travel knowledge right there. Is set 3 alarms, set them 2 minutes apart. You'll most likely wake up.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for being Monday Warriors with us this Monday, and have an amazing Monday.
Thanks, guys. Thanks again so much for listening to Monday Club. We love you. We want you to have a great week. Go ahead and make sure that you are part of the Monday Club Army. You can follow us on MondayClubPodcast.com, Facebook.com/MondayClubPodcast, Twitter @MondayClubPod, Instagram @MondayClubPodcast. Email us, MondayClubPodcast@gmail.com. That is also our PayPal. So if you want to buy us a free drink, that's the way you can do it and get a shout out on the air. We want to give special thanks, of course, to our main man, Mr. James Caldwell, our sound engineer, and of course to Zach Holder. Thanks for the music. You guys go out there, be safe, be awesome to each other, and we will see you next Monday.
Episode 34 in the can.